Stay still! I had to kill a man to escape today. What's one more? Why are you still here? Don't you see what's going on? Freeport 7? Zone 21?
Yeah, the Order.
No! It's not just them, it's Liberty. The artifacts. They're after something.
Look, let's just talk about this.
No more talking! I know what I'm doing now. I have a plan. I wanted to warn you. I felt I owed it to you. Don't try and follow me, Trent. Get out of Liberty while you still can.
What the...
Nice to see you again. How are things?
Interesting. I'm looking for Junko Zane. Have you seen her lately?
Yeah. She asked me to tell you to meet her on the terraforming station on California Minor.
Anything else?
No, that was all. Drink, Mr. Trent?
No, thanks. I better get going.
Greetings, I'm Solidus-Skully, and welcome back to the Freelancer commentary, where today, well, yeah, as you're about to bear witness to as we enter the next system, things are gonna get a little bit conspiratorial.
Mr. Trent, we need to talk. I was with you on Freeport 7. We met on the rescue ship. Something's going on. I'm being followed. Other survivors from Freeport have disappeared. Please, meet me on Los Angeles. Damn it.
Brandon Rowlett, you are under arrest. Cut your engines and stand down. All units, fire missiles. Civilian ship, this was a classified Navy operation. Do yourself a favor and keep this quiet.
Yeah, incidentally, interesting thing if you happen to take on those Liberty Navy fighters, if you are very suicidal to do so, because I tried once and I got destroyed, but yeah, if you do manage to destroy them or at least scan their ship, you can actually find some weapons equipped on them called Nomad prototypes. And yeah, on top of destroying those Navy ships, your reputation with the Liberty Navy doesn't actually tarnish, so, me thinketh those weren't quite what they claimed to be.
You know, if you wanted to see me, you could have picked a quieter place.
I'm trying to keep a low profile.
Well, this is low, I'll give you that.
The reason I called you here, Trent, apart from your glittering social commentary, is to have you do a job. Ashcroft finally talked. Are you interested?
Well, I flew all the way out here, didn't I?
Ashcroft's interrogation has given us a whole new perspective on the inner workings of the artifact smuggling ring. Apparently, there's someone working on the inside in Liberty. We don't know who yet. We think in the Navy, maybe even an officer. My CO has ordered a priority operation to expose this traitor. And since I need a complete outsider for this, I thought of you.
Nice. So when do I leave?
When do we leave? We're working together on this one.
Shh.
It has now seriously crippled the Order by bringing down their top man. Again, the LSF reports that the actual leader of the Order, previously known only by his codename Aurelian, was shot and killed while trying to escape from Liberty into Rhineland space. In addition, Liberty officials have also just released his real name,
Sam Lonnigan.
How did you know that?
I met him on Freeport 7. He was a tradesman, or at least I thought he was.
He must have been doing recon before the attack.
It wasn't before, it was during. He almost died. Doesn't make sense. He wasn't smart enough to be a terrorist, let alone lead them. He was trying to tell me something.
Sam Lonnigan, also known as Aurelian, leader of the terrorist group The Order, was apprehended today at the Liberty border.
Well, whoever he was, he's
told by
dead
the
now.
LSF that there was
Come on,
every
Trent.
intention to
We got
take him
another
alive,
scumbag to
but
ferret
Lonnigan
out.
rushed agents and engaged them in a bloody shootout.
So, now we have our mission of the now, and, yeah, the whole idea of, alien artifact trading and all that, yeah, it was already brought up in the previous mission with Ashcroft, but, yeah, the alien artifacts are very much, well, on top of the intrigue value, again, going back into a bit of the character histories here, yeah, it was because of the discovery of a lot of these alien artifacts that actually got Trent to become the freelancer that he is to begin with. He initially started off as a bit of a ship mechanic off in the Bretonia systems, and, well, with all the alien discoveries in the border worlds, he decided to go off and see the universe for himself. And look where he ended up. In Liberty. But yeah, the alien artifacts in turn are also a bit of a political issue. Again, like, I mean, the fact that they're being traded around isn't just for criminal enterprises. It's really to do with both how, well, different star systems really value them. Rhineland seems to be the, you know, the big country slash, well, star system that really seems to favour finding them. After all, they are closest to the border worlds. Well, at least in terms of having, like, somewhat legal authority over them, because anything else would be, well, where the descendants of the Hispania came from with the, you know, outcast Corsairs and, you know, what have you. But yeah, Rhineland seems to be all for the artifacts. Bretonnia is currently neutral on them. Kusari has a few in the, you know, vaults from what they've discovered. And Liberty, well, they seem to be very ban-heavy on these alien artifacts, as, you know, here's the dictation by President Jacoby, so, yeah. Me thinketh there's some mounting tensions going on. But needless to say, I mean, a lot of it does sort of tie in together, both with the world building and indeed the plot at large. I mean, yeah, I mean, it is quite interesting to see how, again, something that would otherwise be treated around as a contraband or, you know, something very important is, you know, it's handled in a weirdly bizarre, realistic kind of way, and again, that does also further tie into my point about how Freelancer handles its factions. I mean, again, it's not what you'd typically see in the sort of, you know, sci-fi environment, so you'd have, like, your typical sort of, like, oh, there's the Rebel Alliance, there's a Galactic Empire, there's a non-affiliate trading post. No, this game actually does have various different factions that have their basis on factions in the real world. Like, for example, again, you have the Corsairs and, you know, the outcasts who pretty much deal in drug trade. You have the Liberty Rogues, which are just there for petty criminals from, you know, Liberty's history of the downtrodden being treated shittily and, you know, stuff like that. Again, it does help that it does base itself on, you know, a lot of the real-life country factions where you could easily see the outcasts sort of doubling as, like, a, well, the Earth equivalent of the Colombian cartel. You know, things like that, or the Blood Dragons, you know, being a Yakuza faction. So, again, there's a lot of little nuanced details from these different factions. It's just that it's spun into a context of, well, what would happen if they were in space? But I mean, needless to say, like, I mean, it does create a very interesting sort of atmosphere for the game, and we will be seeing them as we progress throughout the story. It's just that, yeah, the conspiracy elements has, you know, storylines of the 2000s, or the early 2000s at the very least, were of want to do. Does make for some very interesting, you know, mystery for us to solve. But yeah, we do pretty much have another basic escort-style mission, but don't you worry, we will be seeing more than a few intriguing little, you know, moments as we go on forth. Yeah, but in any case, so, just to sort of pad out for time as we continue escorting this little cargo freighter full with supplies and delicious, delicious tastiness. Let's see here. Yeah, some ships were intended to have retractable fins, as I believe, the heavy defender fighters that, you know, Trent and Juni are flying. By the way, slightly interesting to note is that Juni also has a unique model of defender that you can never actually fly in the game. Kind of a shame, really, but, like we should suppose. Oh no, fire, 9090, blam 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 blam. Yeah, in any case, so as we have another dogfight, I guess I might as well talk a little bit more about, you know, ship classes. Something that I did sort of talk about in brief in the earlier parts, but, you know, fuck it, might as well talk about it. But yeah, ship classes are basically unlocked, you know, via a level up system, and it's kind of weird to discuss the level up system. It's sort of handled in a similar vein to some RPGs, albeit being a little bit more mission-based. But yeah, you have a maximum level of 30, I believe, and yeah, again, you can pretty much only access certain ships and classes of equipment as you become a more advanced pilot, so again, you can't exactly, again, if you were thinking about it, just, you know, earn a lot of money and then, you know, fly off to a different star system to get the best ship in the game and hopefully go from there. No, this game does intend you to play a certain way, and you do need to sort of change up and scale up with ships as you progress, and yeah. So, again, the main way I recommend sort of playing through the game is, like, basically pretty much get all the ships that are available to you and, well, sort of pick certain ship classes that are, well, applicable. Throughout the main story, I'd recommend sticking with mainly heavy and light fighters. In terms of the Liberty stuff, again, the Defender ship that we're using right here is pretty much your best bet for the early game. But yeah, going forward, I will also start suggesting, you know, what sort of ships you can use and what other variants you usually have. Heavy ships like this usually come with a lot more, you know, mounts for guns. It is a little bit slower, so again, a lot of your thruster usage probably won't get you out of a scrape fairly easy, but Again, more firepower at the expense of what that yellow bar is right down below, which is your weapon power. And, yeah, again, the more heavier class weapons you have onto your ship, that energy bar will drain and your rate of fire will decrease, albeit at the expense of, well, you know, power droppage. So, yeah, I mean, again, if you want to have more power, but, you know, less damaging weapons, but, you know, with more of a rapid fire capability, you either specialize in that or go for a light fighter. If not, then, well, bombs away by utilizing your heavy defender, which can, you know, mount torpedoes, mines, and all sorts of crazy shit. With some of the light fighters, though, you are a bit more maneuverable, your thrusters pack a bit more of a punch in getting you out of danger quickly, but at the same time, though, you can't mount as many weapons onto your person, and I think some are also, you know, forbidding you from utilizing torpedoes or missile launchers.
We made it! Incoming ships, this is Willard Station. Identify yourself.
This is LSF Commander Zane. We're escorting a supply of classified materials to Willard Station.
Understood. We've been expecting you. Proceed to the station. Docking ports are currently offline. We'll have it fixed in a moment.
Thanks again. Trent, I have to land on the station and contact a few people. It's pretty obvious now that there's a mole in the Navy. I'll see you soon.
Commander Zane, you are now cleared to land. Docking ports 2 and 3 are ready for you.
I recommend you land and get yourself some equipment. We'll meet back in space in a few minutes.
Oh boy, finally a pit stop. But, yeah, you know what, I think I'll say that for a little bit later. I was about to bring up, you know, what you do in between missions, which I kind of already brought up with, you know, King and the first mission on Planet Pittsburgh, but, yeah, what you're doing outside of the main missions in Freelancer is pretty much just sort of taking jobs from random places and odds and sods like this, and, basically earning enough money until you reach the cash level up gate so that you can, you know, progress with the next story mission and or, you know, continue to upgrade your equipment, buy new ships, and, sky's the limit, really. So, yeah, kind of an interesting way in which they handle the level up system. It's not necessarily by killing an X amount of enemies, it's by earning a lot of cash. As, you know, a typical freelancer is of want to do.
Freelancer Alpha 1-1, this is Willard Research Station. Everything's go for launch. Good luck out there.
Trent, we have to fly back to California Minor. We'll take a shortcut this time. I'm uploading the coordinates. Let's go. Switching to a secure channel. Something's terribly wrong. I wanted to brief my CO on what happened with the convoy, but he's been ordered to Manhattan. My contacts tell me that he's actually been placed under arrest for treason. I tried to find out more, but all my friends at LSF headquarters seem to have disappeared. The only person I was able to contact was King, who's still in Pittsburgh. Hold on. Radar shows several ships on an intercept course. Wow. What are Rhineland Valkyries doing here? Attention, Rhineland vessels. This is Commander Zane of the Liberty Security Force. Please identify yourselves. Over. Rhineland vessels, please respond. Trent, stay alert. Something's wrong here. They're opening fire. Engage!
Oh dear. Somebody just started a political war. But yeah, in this case, you might be thinking that this game might be ending up in going like, oh no, the evil space Germany is evil. But no, it's not quite as simple as that, because remember how I mentioned some of the conspiratorial elements in regards to alien artifacts? Well, yeah. Let's just say that some deep infiltration is going on of, well, yeah. I was going to say not of this Earth, but I mean, we haven't technically been on Earth for, well, 800 years at time of after settlement, so yeah, technically neither of us are on this Earth, but yeah, why the Rhineland faction is trying to attack us is anybody's guess, really. I will say though, the Rhineland Valkyries as starships do actually pack a bit of a punch, so yeah, you do need to watch your six, because I mean, again, they have a proud military history for a reason, and oh boy, do they fucking show it, really. But yeah, thankfully you still have shield batteries and nanobots to sort of repair your hull and shield, so yeah. I would recommend having a ship with more evasive maneuvers, but yeah, I think at this point in the game, your heavy defender is still the best sort of ship that you can really have, but yeah, at the same time though, in terms of, you know, gameplay and dogfighting, I still think that Freelancer offers, well again, it's really just more your skill and maneuverability rather than just having the most powerful weapons that can really give you the edge in combat. Again, there's a lot of little maneuvers that I will talk about as we get into the next part, as we meet up with Juni's contact, Marcus Walker. And, yeah, talk a little bit more about just, you know, the ins and outs of dogfighting.
He's the captain of a Liberty Navy cruiser officers are stationed here in
But yeah, either way, just sort of splitting this mission up a little bit as we spend a little bit more time with our friends.
I know we can trust him.
And, Dad and I also just sort of want to, yeah, I just want to get a feel out for these parts to see what length is suitable, really. I mean, again, I kind of want to end them at, you know, sort of appropriate junctions as opposed to just sort of awkwardly cutting, like, in between missions here, really. So again, this is technically part 1 of the mission where we escorted everything to, you know, the space station. Now is part 2. Kind of similar to how I broke up the first mission between us destroying the Liberty rogue space with King. But in any case, I'm Solidus-Skully, keeping you metal, and next time on the Freelancer commentary, well, part numero 2 of the mission will begin as we meet Marcus Walker. Goodbye.